This is where we make great news happen. My name is Kweku. You are welcome to News Tonight. And tonight, as we always do, we bring you the latest happenings throughout the country. Be my guest within the next 1 hour as we share all these details and many more stories with you. But before we do so, let's look at some of the top stories that we have for you tonight. Coming up in the next 16 minutes, mother of 10-year-old girl allegedly defiled in Sogakope in trouble for reporting the case to the police.
After Dogbo 23rd December, April ma, Egava Dasins, and Nanyere Motokajula.
Tonight we'll be live in Kenya as 5 Ghanaian MPs trapped in Kenyan parliament as protesters attack the lawmaking house in protest of a new finance law. Well, we shall be in Kenya to find out what really is happening and how safe our MPs are. Also coming up tonight, government finally clears remaining global fund donated essential drugs from the pot after weeks of pressure from civil society organizations. And like always, we will bring you updates from our world of business as traders at the KTR market are demanding the dismissal of manager for the facility over allegations of mismanagement. Tonight we have these and many other interesting stories making the 1 hour bulletin. Be my guest, stay with us as we share all these stories and many more with you. Let's take our very first story tonight. Quite disturbing here. And here 5 Ghanaian lawmakers and a clerk who found themselves in the midst of chaos as protesters besieged the Kenyan parliament Tuesday afternoon, say they are yet to be evacuated by security personnel. Let me bring you back to Sogakope as a 10-year-old girl has been hospitalized at the Sogakope District Hospital in the Volta region, having been allegedly abused sexually by a 25-year-old at the Toklokpo suburb of Sogakope. Well, this latest incident adds up to the increasing records of cases of defilement, rape, and abuse of women in the Tongu enclave in recent times. Well, GHOne News' Faisal Abdul Idrisu has more in the following story.
The victim, a class 4 pupil, was said to have first been sexually abused in December 2023, leaving her with a deep cut in her genital area. Her alleged abuser is a 25-year-old apprentice who lives in the community, Toklokpo, a suburb of Sogakope. For months, the victim lived with the scar of that painful ordeal until the mother discovered.
You cannot complain there. You for Kodoma, Elevron. I feel no less of Zonhaqua, and not a taller, a pataji. A Pazama, your Mlani. So, Mark Walker, come up over a mollen chipa, a dolency, a dolafma, Katia Dula, a dome. Time show picture I like come up over melon normal. I don't look on at your dogbo 23rd December, April ma. Egava Dasins and Nanyere Motokajula, Opa from a bedroom.
But the decision to seek justice for her daughter by reporting to the police has landed her in another trouble with some women in the community.
Kovala boyala ejuamoto jagla bejebe kamapono na majebe manana committee ole juam assemblyman le efiele ejebe manana machichare wanya owa yo boy wa konukle ta nyamawenyi ta over orobo you actually pere time ta over rebo paba wa poku no wa meeting denti afi amarakara karo wa stop.
For more than 10 days, the victim has been on admission here at the Sogakopa District Hospital, undergoing medical treatment. Dr. Akpalu is a principal medical officer at the hospital.
They've realized that she has infections, what we call pelvic inflammatory disease, resulting from genital injuries and sexually transmitted disease as a consequence of the same defilement. So she's currently on admission for IV antibiotics for that infection to resolve. These children normally have a problem with sexual encounters later. Either they could become promiscuous or they become afraid of sex. Even in their adult life, they have problem with sexual intercourse in the future because of that fear that they went through.
For the first 2 quarters of 2024, more than 20 cases of defilement, rape and other forms of assault on women are being prosecuted by the Dosso unit of the Tong Divisional Command of the Ghana Police Service, marking a worrying trend in the cases of abuse on women, particularly children. At the hospital, the news team encountered the mother of a 15-year-old girl who was at the labor ward with a pregnancy due for delivery. Her daughter is one of the many victims of sexual abuse by a man who has since been committed to a prison sentence 2 months ago, leaving the victim with the pregnancy from the incident.
Madam de caso for mamia, ya pepelangutini.
Interview for mobile again.
Oh, more telemientu, oh, baby, more pepelamientu. Ta interview for me, ke mo for hogo, a more hogo. Ta emoji for my bagale, you for mamu.
The Vianta of Father.
The Vianta for four. Ya, my lenya came you could be you yesi, you yesi. Yes, a male and yalaka balloon.
The accused person in the latest case is suspected to reappear in court later in July, having been granted bail when he was arraigned before the Sogakopa Circuit Court earlier this month. This unwanted record of increasing violence against women, especially children, requires a drastic action from all stakeholders. For GHOne News, Faisal Abdulidrisu.
All right, just assurance that in a while we will be going back to Kenya, but let's just get some more updates from our local front, and we're taking you to the Ghanaian Parliament, where the majority leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin has once again slammed the minority over what he terms inconsistencies on the part of NDC MPs regarding the free SHS bill. Well, the minority, though, has stated it's not against the bill, has had some of its members, like the ranking member for Education Committee, Peter Norchu, questioning the move since the policy is already catered for in the Pre-Tertiary Education Act. Addressing the media, the majority leader asked for clarity from the NDC MPs. Afenyo-Markin revealed, though the bill is yet to come to Parliament, it has received cabinet approval.
The Minister of Education is going to ferry the bill through to Parliament. We are ready, and that is why, as part of the engagement process, we engage them, but they are adamant. The NDC is not ready for the free SHS bill. It's clear. And their spokesperson on education has been very loud. The last time I tried to tease the matter out on the floor, he avoided a response. He stayed clear of it, and he was not ready to commit himself. So we know that in Parliament, the caucus speaks through its spokespersons, and he is the ranking member on education. He is the NDC spokesperson on education. That's a member for catching off, and he says he's opposed to the free SHS bill because there's some provision in the constitution. They should tell us why they are opposed to the bill.
A bit more politics in there. Former national chairman of the governing MPP, Freddie Blay, says his son, who is the brain behind the La Polo Beach Club, acquired the space lawfully from the Land Traditional Council. Well, according to the politician, claims that the son, Kweku, used his political connections to acquire the land, which is alleged to belong to the Labadi Beach Hotel, is false and unfounded. Well, according to him, the said space does not belong to the Labadi Beach Hotel, but that is for the La Traditional Council, and that his son was forced to go into the land for about 25 years after the hotel tried shortchanging him in the partnership in year 2021.
It's not this stretch of or portion of land, little land here that is being used as a place for Polo Beach Club. It does not belong to government. It does not belong to the Labadi Beach Hotel. It may be partly in front of it, yes, but they have not blocked the access to the sea as Ablakwa wants us or to. You've seen it yourself. So don't make it look like as if it's state capture, because play sun, or as they call it, play sun cycle. No sun cycle, what sun is involved. That here we will not take it from government, we bought it or rented it or leased it from traditional authorities, and you call it state capture. That's a pity.
All right, so let's look at other matters at this moment. If you're just coming through, this is News Tonight. My name is Kweku Temeng, and continuously updating you on our local frontier. Government has finally cleared all 443 containers of the essential drugs that have been stuck at the Temeng port since May 2023. Ernest Orton, acting chair, country coordinator, mechanisms of Global Fund, disclosed this to GHOne News. Well, it comes after the minority in parliament gave government a 24-hour ultimatum to clear all essential commodities donated by the Global Fund. But the Minister of Health on June 14 this year promised that government will clear all the over 120 remaining stuck containers from the port within 2 weeks. Here is a report from my colleague Evelyn Araba Edu.
According to the Global Fund, the GHOne gave clearance for all the commodities to be removed from the Temeng port. The only challenge they had was that the central medical stores receiving the commodities have the capacity to offload 8 containers a day. Gladly, all 439 containers of essential commodities that have been stuck for the past 1 year at the Temeng port and some 5 other containers that were delivered this month have finally been cleared. Ernest Orton is the acting chair, country coordinating mechanism of the Global Fund.
Has been met, except that they now have to convey the containers from the ports to the warehouses. That is where the challenge is, because the Central Medical Stores warehouse can take a maximum of 16 containers a day. So that is what they are doing now. They are scheduling the deliveries, but then all the commodities have been released by GHOne, and so they have been transported. There are 2 locations where the containers are originally kept, and then when they are being prepared for transportation, where they are also being kept. So all the containers now are being prepared for transportation to the Central Medical Stores.
The Global Fund donated a total of 439 essential commodities from May, June, July and August 2023 to Ghana. But records as of January 31 this year showed that only 150 were cleared. This prompted an uproar from the coalition of CSOs in HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria on April 8, threatening to embark on a massive demonstration on Wednesday, 17th April. But the government promised to ensure the drugs are cleared in 2 weeks.
I see these people as stakeholders. They are not our enemies. And if they feel frustrated by something, I was not excited by how these things have been handled. So we are working together so that within 2 weeks, this port should be cleared. These containers should all come out and go.
The essential commodities are worth $45 million, and the government was only required to cater for the taxes, levies and port charges for the clearance of the commodities, estimated at $3.6 million.
All right, so you want to get more information on this, and here the Deputy Ranking Member of the Health Committee of Parliament, Sebastian Sandare, is joining us at this moment for a conversation on the back of this. Well, thank you very much, Sebastian, for joining me tonight. First of all, I would want to find out from you, so how do you feel that it had to take this excessive pressure from CSOs to have these essentials cleared from the ports?
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother. And let me say that I am just a member of the health committee. Not the deputy rank. Having said that, it's an onslaught pressure from these containers could be released. It just tells clearly that as a country, we don't place priority on our health sector, because if we place priority on our health sector, it shouldn't even take more than a week since these containers were brought, and it has taken us more than a year. Even with that, it has to take pressure from all stakeholders, including members of parliament, before these containers could be released. The other question we ask is not just the interest of releasing the containers. After more than a year of these containers being at the port, the question we ask, the commodities that are coming out, how potent are they? The costs for which they were brought to this country. So we also have to test for the potency of whether they are drugs, they are laboratory test kits or whatever. We have to answer that question, whether the containers coming out, the content, that's the drugs and all the commodities that are coming out, are potent, that will give us the desired results when we use them. And that is a concern for all of us.
All right, so Sebastian, just before I allow you go, what is going to be the next chapter so long as the minority is concerned, so long as these cleared containers are concerned? Does it close the chapter, or you'd want to see a further institution of investigations into delays amongst others?
I believe I'm just like my ranking, and in fact, not only the ranking, but even the members of the, including, we are all in order for this not to happen again. We will need the minister to come to parliament and answer, tell the whole country why these items have been at the port for more than 1 year, because never again should this happen, where donors have brought us drugs, vital commodities, and as a country we leave them at the port for a year. It doesn't send a good, this government, into a level, an international level, where Ghana would not be respected, because I think so far we are the first country that has recorded this bad record of leaving vital medicines and commodities more than a year. The interest is not just being happy that the containers have been cleared and brought out, but what do we do?
All right. Sebastian, thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable, for joining us tonight to share your thoughts on it. And like you rightly said, never again should this happen again. We would urge all players and stakeholders to ensure that essential goods like this would not stay in the pots for over a year. But let's still stay with health, as management of the Kweku Teaching Hospital have condemned the strike action by some doctors of the oncology department. Well, 7 out of the 11 doctors at the facility laid down their tools in a bid to force management to fix all broken cancer treatment machines in the hospital. But Deputy Medical Director of the facility, Dr. Pare says the action is unnecessary as the management has completed all procurement processes for the machines.
7 out of 10 doctors at the oncology department of the Kweku Teaching Hospital in Kumasi in the Ashanti region on Monday started a strike action demanding the replacement of broken equipment in the department. The strike by the Cath oncology doctors has left several patients who visited the hospital from far and near for treatment stranded. Majority of the patients left the hospital unattended to until the arrival of 3 specialists to take care of a few stranded patients. The news team's visit to the oncology department met an empty room as a result of the strike. Nana Ejay and Abrokwa Kwame, who travelled from Wasa Ekrapong in the western north and Ahafo regions for cancer treatment, spoke with the news team.
Doctors in Bebre are medjuma in the Oma or Mojin Robo Somians, Avsomians, and the Omua Wedrubia, Quena Conum Wodro, and now don't bet doctors and now Bema would date. Doctors and our Nisha. Now Oma a drusun de Panini Kimunde, on Bokoside, Afro, Mambans may have for so Ugusua or Jin and Nedro. Dear Ban, the Omia, I will say. Doctors in a strike. In the woman, date, woman, date, the woman, the mom. By any idea, they're drone so there. Omoko striking now, Omodaswa, Omoshon. And I said, I do to Ghana, Bane, Omo, the woman's and says, I have been our Omojana, over my cancer no more, or young word doing a crown. And what they know for now, beside a jatum. In the Slav says, I have your one now or more and I eble.
Mifia for region and then I'm Mafoka if you are bedruha. Na Sebia Maboka is Eka. I mean, yes, sorry, I know, and I go, I mean, around 2 a.m. And what do you call it? Ye bedruha, but ye banner doctor nine here, because ye beboka kaka. And yes, we your time crown near be wasting your time. Be the referral by that home because I said doctors no issue.
The Deputy Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Yao Oparilabi, disclosed management has procured the necessary equipment to fix the Linac machine and has ordered for brand new water phantom machine at a cost of $109,623 and 39 cents. He therefore expressed disappointment that the doctors, fully aware of the measures taken by management, would still choose to strike over the issue.
This morning we woke up to hear that a section of the doctors there have decided to go on strike. And the genesis of this is that as part of cancer treatment, we use what we call radiotherapy. We have a big machine which we call the linear accelerator. This machine was down for some time, for some months. It needed a part. The part was procured. When they first threatened to go on strike, they presented what they call a roadmap. And I and another colleague engaged them and told them about the processes. And not only us, their own directorate management team had been informing them of all these letters of credit that had been going. And it takes time for these things to be done. So after a couple of meetings with them, they decided, initially they said they were going to go on strike on the 17th. And then they decided that they were going to abandon the initial roadmap and shift it to 24th, by which time, if the phantom was not in and the machine operational, they were going to go on strike.
Management of the hospital are considering punitive actions against the doctors who are embarking on the strike. The hospital's leadership insists the doctors have no justification for their action, especially after disregarding leadership of the Ashanti Regional Branch of the Ghana Medical Association by declining invitation extended to them for a meeting over the matter and their action.
All right, so that's about all we have for you on Insight tonight. We would want to mention that Insight was proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. Indeed, with Pepsodent, every smile matters. Afterwards, we're coming back with some more stories. Do stay with us. All right, so if you're still with us, this is News Tonight. My name is Kweku. We're taking some more local stories before we bring you updates from our world of business and sports. Well, Minister for Works and Housing, Nkrumah, has called on various municipal and district assemblies to collaborate with Ghana's Hydrological Authority Ministry for Works and Housing to protect drains from being silted by human activities. Speaking during the sword cutting ceremony of the Nima Paloma storm drain, the minister disclosed that an early warning system for floods will be operationalized by the next rainy season to give citizens a specific area forecast of floods.
The Nima Paloma storm drain forms part of the ongoing Greater Accra Resilience and Integrated Development Project aimed at reducing flood risk and improving solid waste management in the Odor River Basin. When completed, it will help in improving access to basic infrastructure and services in the targeted flood-prone low-income communities in the Greater Accra region. Speaking during the sod-cutting ceremony, Speaker for Works and Housing, Nkrumah, while calling on MMDs and the citizenry to protect the drains from being silted, announced the operationalization of an early flood warning system, which will provide a granular signal for floods in localized areas.
Government has over the years invested significant resources in successive annual activities under the National Flood Control and Priority Drainage Programs. This investment is, however, being undermined by the inappropriate behavior of some residents living along our water bodies. All across the country, some residents are engaged in building in waterways and indiscriminately dumping solid waste that find its way into drains. The implementation of the GHOne project interventions and all other flood mitigating measures will not succeed if such behavior and underlying attitudes do not change.
Engaging the media on the sidelines of the ceremony, project coordinator for the GHOne, Dr. Kwojo Hinisafo, said the 18-month contract awarded to the construction of the drains will help reduce the incidence of flooding in the area.
We are certain that before the next rainy season, as we speak, the equipment that we have actually installed is actually relaying the data already, except that the data has not been connected. So his role is now to come and connect all the data so that we can now start forecasting where and when it will be raining.
Member of Parliament for the Klote Kole constituency, Dr. Zenato Ajimai Rawlings, expressed her excitement about the commencement of the project and called on residents to cooperate with the engineer.
We have a responsibility. This is our community, and we should not need somebody from elsewhere to come and tell us how to look after our community. Whatever we do here affects us and also affects people who are downstream to us. And so as much as we have the loan coming in for the work to begin, we also have to have a change in our attitudes. We must think about cleanliness, and we must ensure that we're doing the right thing. We must use the proper places of convenience and not these areas here for open defecation, because that affects the health of the community, and in the end it becomes a burden as well in terms of the health problems that we face.
As the rains set in, the ministry is urging all persons building in waterways to move and avoid dumping refuse in drains to mitigate the incidence of floods, which leads to the loss of life and property.
That's about it for some local stories. We're bringing you updates from our world of business. We want to say a big thank you to Bill's Microcredit for making it possible for us to bring you business news tonight. Definitely, it is the outfit you need to go to if you're looking for any form of loans. Now to the stories. The combined Kumasi Ketia Traders Association has issued a 2-week ultimatum to the president, that's Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, calling for the removal of Kofi Dufour, the managing director of the Ketia market, over allegations of mismanagement and poor maintenance. Ashanti Regional correspondent Justice Bediako has more.
We asked the managing director what happened to the external audit being conducted by external auditors sent from KMA to audit the company about a year ago. We want to know about that audit report. Where is the internal audit conducted by KCMA into, among other items, locks that were fixed for shops and padlocks that were bought for company use? We asked the MD who engineered the whole confusion about the 300,000 Ghana cedi that was supposed to be distributed to the fire victims, that today as we speak they do not have their money. Mr. MD, are you satisfied with the way you are handling this market? Especially when, as we speak today, fire service has vacated this market and no provision whatsoever was made to them to even keep a skeletal staff of the fire service in the market. So today, if anything about the fire should happen in this market, we will have to call them to come in, just as any ordinary person will be calling the fire service to come in here. We asked the managing director, how well has he managed maintenance issues in this market, when today KJTIA is gradually getting closer to a point where the whole market will have to be shut down for maintenance purposes? How well has he managed it? In the light of all this, the combined traders executives had a meeting and we took a single resolution, and this resolution we will stand by it whatsoever. The resolution today, as we speak, is that we cannot continue to work with Mr. Kofi Dufour in this market. Authorities can decide to bring anybody else to become the managing director, but for Mr. Kofi Dufour. And if authorities care, they could decide not to listen to us. They could decide not to heed to the cause. In a week or two, if you realize action has not been taken on this, we will advise ourselves, and going forward, whatever we decide to do with him as a managing director, nobody should blame us.
Well, we'll be in and around the KTR market. We'll be bringing you more updates on this particular story. But in other business stories tonight, as part of efforts to bridge the financial gap between the unbanked and the underbanked, the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, I'm talking about GHOne, is advocating for inclusive financial literacy in the country. Well, according to the Chief Executive Officer of GHOne, Achi Hesi, financial inclusion can bridge the gap between those with access to financial services and those without, thereby unlocking opportunities to promote economic growth. There's more in the following report.
The Ghana Interbank Payment Settlement System, GHOne, has revealed that it has recorded about 2.5 million cedis inflows on the Ghana Pay mobile money wallets, while targeting over 1 million subscribers to promote economic growth in the country. Addressing the media, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, GHOne, Achi Hayes, explained that the introduction of Ghana Pay is to create a unified platform for the banking sector, providing a common mobile money service to better serve their customers.
So the banks are rightly saying that if my customers, in addition to their bank accounts, also need a mobile money wallet, why can't I offer it? So it's a convenient tool for repetitive usage. And the banks, in order to provide it, we have roughly 24 banks in the country. So they've come together and they've bought one platform that they can share. And they've also agreed that in addition to that, why don't we have one brand?
The head of Ghana Pay mobile money unit at GHOne, Samuel Dakon, highlighted that Ghana Pay's value-added services allow customers to perform traditional mobile money transactions as well as other banking services without incurring transaction fees.
It is important to know that in as much as we want people to be financially included, we want to also give them the platform to be able to transact wherever they find themselves. So for the crowdfunding, for the standing instructions, for the sponsored wallet, for the standing instructions, individually on Ghana Pay, we'll be able to promote financial services without moving an inch. So that is what we've actually come up with, the value-added services, so that people's life will be improved. If you want to make repetitive payments and all that, there's no need for you to walk to the bank. But with these value-added services, you'll be able to actually pay off whatever services or goods and services you want to actually enjoy.
According to Gibbs, financial literacy has emerged as the cornerstone of inclusive financial systems, empowering governments, businesses, and individuals to make informed financial decisions, effectively manage their finances in the broader economic system.
All right, so allow us to say a big thank you to Bill's Microcredit for making it possible for us to bring you business. Obviously, if you need that loan, that quick loan, you should be talking to Bill's Microcredit. Well, after business, we're coming up with sports shortly. To stay.
Ghana Olympics Committee with its collaborators, the Program for Appropriate Technology in Health, PATH Ghana, has commenced a 6-month-long campaign on the need for regular physical exercise. The campaign, in collaboration with the Ghana Health Service, is geared towards reducing the effects of non-communicable diseases responsible for some 45% of deaths in the country. My colleague, Kweku Dazi, was at the launch in the Swami municipality and has filed this report. It was a morning of energetic aerobics and endurance cardio training sessions in the Swami municipality when the Ghana Olympics Committee, the Ghana Health Service, and its collaborator, Program for Appropriate Technology in Health, PATH, marked the commencement of a 6-month-long activism against non-communicable diseases. The social and behavioral change campaign, which will be replicated in schools, religious organizations, and professional bodies, aims at engendering positive health attitudes towards regular physical exercise. It comes at a time the Ghana Health Service has increased its surveillance on non-communicable diseases, noted for causing some 45% of all deaths in the country.
Currently, PATH Ghana is working with the International Olympic Committee to raise awareness on this program. And so from now till December 2025, we'll be supporting districts such as here to be doing such activities, creating advocacy and awareness around sports and health. We'll be doing education campaigns within schools, within our communities, giving health talks so that people understand the benefits of physical activity.
Dr. Robert Yeboah fears this could exacerbate the already worrisome fatalities recorded from non-communicable diseases if urgent lifestyle changes are not adopted.
Unfortunately, in Ghana, NCDs are rising by the day. It's becoming a source of concern. We are having a lot of mortality as a result of hypertension and the strokes and the like. Very often, we tend to limit ourselves to medications to control our conditions. But I want to all understand that physical activity can be a very important strategy so that we can control all these NCDs in country. And so we encourage everybody, make time today, let's all move.
Keep Fit clubs that joined the exercise reiterated the need for communities to join the drive to keep healthy while preventing non-communicable diseases, including strokes, cancers, hypertension, and diabetes.
Stroke. And then found say when you know now when you when you know stroke bit me attack you, but I want to pump the beer and it's our sciaticas now, they are banana, a sony pa, no, Nina, no, and was all exercise here. Sani manina a bit every amount.
Powerful, oh my idea, it's an Sunday day, a dashron, a word Olympic Day and also Olympic Day. Anna Omotimia Bois said ye beya, ya pomudin, a bit to me, a CP, a sita, enti Anna Omotimi organizes Jumadi.
The commemoration of the World Olympic Day marks the founding of the International Olympic Community, IOC, in 1894. This year's celebration is particularly significant as it coincides with an Olympic year, with the upcoming Games to be hosted in France, the homeland of the founder of modern Olympics, Pierre de Coubertin. The theme for this year's event is Let's Move and Celebrate. Meanwhile, in the ongoing Euro 2024, Austria beat Netherlands 3-2, while Poland held France to a 1-1 draw game. That will be it for News Brief or Sports Brief. My name is Monica Bukari. Back to you, Kweku.
All right, thank you very much, Monica Bukri. We're bringing you some entertainment news shortly on GHOne. All right, on GHOne tonight, the burial date for respected Ghanaian gospel musician Kofi Duah-Anto, popularly known as Koda, has been moved from the original date of July 5, 2024 to September 20, 2024. Now, this change was announced through a post on the late singer's official Facebook page, causing a shift in the plans for his final farewell. Well, the initial funeral rites were set to take place on Friday, July 5 at the KICC on Spintex Road in Accra. The esteemed Takrady-based musician passed away on Sunday, April 21, 2024 after a brief illness. He was 45 years old and is survived by his wife and 3 children. Koda music legacy includes hits like Insempi, Nkwabodo, Yapai, and Adosu. May his soul rest in perfect peace. All right, so that's about all we have for you tonight. My name is Kweku. On behalf of the entire production team, we would want to say a big thank you to you. And also remind you that tonight, if you are with the family, it's a good time after having your meal to come together and ensure you brush with Pepsodent. Of course, with Pepsodent, every smile matters. Bulletin led by Musa Lansa. Enjoy the rest of your evening. My name is Kweku. I am out.